Health security takes several different forms in the arguments that are made about it. One argument is that we face emerging and re-emerging pandemic threats that are out in the environment. They come and they go. They can have destabilizing consequences. We now have this movie, Contagion, that has just come out that's really about this. And that movie is very interesting because it makes the point that there's a science, there's a methodology of outbreak response and control, there are practices of social distancing, and that these are hugely destabilizing and they happen in a heartbeat. So that's one area that obviously people understand and grasp quite rapidly about the intersection of security and health. And you can add into that not just natural disasters, not just emerging pandemic threats, but you can add in also the sort of biodefense dimension of this. So that's been a part of it. Another is the notion that epidemics, pandemics like HIV/AIDS, which we have not seen an epidemic of this scale come forward. There's no vaccine and none in sight. It emerges, there's an explosion of new infections. It's concealed for an 8 or 10 year period, and then there's this sudden explosion of folks that are symptomatic with AIDS and that are dying. You have a third dimension, which is the human security. And that's a more general notion that in communities around the world, in low-income countries, communities that are struggling with poverty, that are struggling with a burden of disease that is very specific to poor populations, neglected tropical diseases, diseases of poverty, poor sanitation, that the family and the community can only function with true productivity and with true hope if it has some baseline security. And what they mean by that is protection against these ravaging disease phenomena.